Y'all been doing any courting this week?
Hey, I'm courting so much, it got me drinking on a Wednesday. My first hot toddy of the fall.
I couldn't wait to respond. I couldn't wait.
It's cold in the month out here anyway.
Yeah, it's big girl season pretty soon.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My time of the year, baby. Actually, that's all year long, but you know, official.
I like a man that knows what he wants and what he needs. I ain't mad at that. Look, hey, cheers.
That's right.
Ain't nothing wrong with the big girls.
No wrong with the big girls.
They need love too.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
salute to the big girls.
Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. It's Black Thor, Ice Water, and yours truly, Puma. We're going to talk a little bit about all sports, but I want to preview the picks. If you haven't heard our picks, some of us are doing well. I'm not doing so good looking at this particular point, but let's preview like maybe one or two statements to give a little teaser to the folks to hang out and get the picks towards the end of the show. Black?
I look at it this way. Week one of our picks, we all kind of, didn't do that well. Second week, some of us kind of rose above the cream of the crop. But second week to me was like redemption because realistically, some of the things you saw in the first week didn't look too good. Second week kind of straightened himself out. So this third week, man, it's going to really be something interesting because there's a couple of games this week, bro. I'm going to tell you right now, I can close my eye and pick a team because I'm not sure with some of these games. I'm not going to lie to you. So, there's about 2 or 3 games this week right here. I just don't know. We'll find a way to do what we do.
I say it every year. The first 4 weeks, can get a little ugly until you figure out what the temperature is in the NFL. Give me a statement to tease the NFL picks later, week 3.
Let me just say this. I've been actually comparing our picks to other people, and the first week, nobody did well. It's kind of like NCAA when you have a bunch of Cinderellas winning in the first round. It just doesn't happen. So we're doing pretty good. People that supposedly are selling their picks so people can make money, we're doing pretty damn good. As you mentioned, week 2 was pretty good, for some, but you just got to hold on, man. Like I said, nobody put out any trophies first couple weeks. Don't worry about it. It's going to be all right, Puma. Just keep fighting the fight, bro. Keep fighting the fight. But as he said, Black Thor did say it's going to be quite interesting in week 3. Couple games that really got me nervous. And I just found out something today that I'm going first. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, that's always
that's fine. I mean, it's good. I'm glad I found out beforehand because they like to try to spring it on you right before the show. They're like, oh, by the way, you go to order. I asked you up first. So guess what? Not today. Welcome. Thank you.
It's like that 3-card Molly game. You see the red card, find the red card. Black card, black card, black card, red card.
Hey, you're still losing. Go ahead, though.
Well, my statement and what we're going to talk about in the NFL picks a little bit later is I gave it 3 weeks here and feel like Muhammad Ali. 3. Guess who's starting for the Bears this Sunday against Cleveland? 3. Let's do
it's horrible. It's horrible. Horrible.
Gotta get him in.
No, you don't. You're trying to kill him. What do you mean you gotta get him in? No, you don't.
Because the other 2 quarterbacks, they're gonna be out. He's gonna be in anyway. So if Foles gonna get hurt, Dalton's gonna get hurt. He's gonna be the quarterback standing anyway. He's the only mobile quarterback they have. You got to try him out. The Bears aren't going to the playoffs this year. They're not. So you might as well put him out there, let him learn, let him get, those growing pains. And, hopefully he won't get hurt.
How about improving the team first? Well, you just throw it to the wood. How about trying to maybe get some offensive linemen off the track sheet? I mean, somebody you can throw the damn ball to?
Yeah.
That's like, well, don't worry about it, son. No pressure, but we're all counting on you. And can't nobody else do that.
Growing pains. This version of the First 40 Sports Show is coming to you by Sham Pipple, the sweet mixture of champagne and ripple. Anyway, let's go to our college. High text, ice water, college football. Some exciting games last week. What's your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I think overall, in general, what we found out was because a lot of times people were getting hyped up about week 1, right? But in week 2, we're finding out, I think, that the so-called great teams that you're just up in the top 10 may not be as great as you think right now. And it's still early. A lot of scary type games going on. You saw where, I'm not going to take too much time on it, but Alabama just escaped from Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
You also saw Nebraska give Oklahoma all that they wanted from that standpoint too. So, and Clemson held to 14 points by Georgia Tech. A lot of these teams I'm talking about right now are not ranked, and it was all the way down the line too, where you saw where Michigan State was not ranked and they destroyed Miami. So people get all excited the first couple of weeks. Rankings don't matter, like I said, really in the first 2 weeks, unless you keep losing games. But it was a lot of close games, a lot of teams that were up in the rankings that lost. And I think you're going to see that continue in week 3, 4, until maybe about week 6. Then we're going to start to find out the difference between the pretenders and the contenders.
Okay. Black, give me your eye test on college football last week.
I'm going to tell you something, man. I know you've been trying to expand from 4 to 8, 12, whatever. And I have to admit, this past weekend was a good example why they probably do need to expand, because you have a lot of teams, like I said, Florida basically was this close to taking on Alabama, Oklahoma. Some of these top teams are basically fighting to win. And some teams that you're not used to seeing in the top 10, Cincinnati, other teams popping in and playing well. So it does show where it needs to be expanded, because some of these teams now are saying, you know what, we're not scared of you anymore. We're not afraid. We're going to step up. We're going to play. We're going to punch you in the mouth. And who knows, at the end, we might take you down. So very competitive, very competitive. It's funny because I found for myself, I was able to watch and enjoy college football more this weekend than last week. I'm not sure why, but for some reason I was able to kind of turn it on, be more involved in it, and kind of pay more attention. But the play and some of these schools that are kind of not basically well known as far as the top 5 are looking very good and playing very strong. The competition has increased.
I am so glad that Florida was able to give Alabama a game. You know, they didn't beat them. They made too many mistakes in the first half, but they were able to give Alabama a game. And that's all you really want as a sports fan. Of course, you want your team to win, but you want to see good games that keep you in the television and keep you from channel surfing. And so you see teams like you mentioned, Cincinnati, Texas A&M, Penn State. We haven't heard, when's the last time you heard of Penn State? I know a few years ago they were floating in to the top 10, and then now they're 3-0. And they're one of the top teams in the country right now. Oregon's jumped up to number 3, Oklahoma number 4, Iowa number 5. So these are some teams that hopefully they'll continue their good seasons. And there's some great games I think that are coming up that people want to see. I don't know if Notre Dame really expected Cincinnati to be this good, because Notre Dame is going to play them on October 2nd. I know that Notre Dame is playing Wisconsin pretty soon, but some of the games that you are going to be watching that stand out to you this coming weekend.
Well, just based on a lot that you saw from what we saw last week, I want to watch West Virginia, Oklahoma, right? West Virginia comes up and pops, was it Vitek? That was a very impressive win there. The other game I would probably say is Nebraska and Michigan State. I mean, Nebraska didn't win the game, but they gave all they had. And Michigan State, when they had a big win against Miami, probably feeling pretty good right now. And then they may be dropping down, maybe losing a little bit of their, kind of put their guard down, if you will. And then that's going to open the door for somebody like Nebraska. But it's all over the place. I'm looking forward to those games. I think we're going to still follow that theme where you're going to be surprised by a couple teams to upset some of the bigger name teams.
Yeah, I was watching Arizona State and BYU, and Arizona State, you cannot win with 4 turnovers and maybe 15 or 16 penalties. It seemed like they were just shooting themselves in the foot. And that BYU crowd was so loud, Black, that they couldn't even get the ball off. And you know, when they were close to their end zone, they couldn't even get the ball. They would have a penalty after penalty after penalty, delay a game, things of that sort. So I'm pretty sure they're glad that the crowds are in there rooting for you. But what are some of the games that you're going to be checking out this weekend, sir?
Well, you know, I'm interested to see Notre Dame and Wisconsin, man. I'm just waiting for the weir to come out of Notre Dame. To me, that's when the season really starts, when Notre Dame lose a game, when you know they're not going to be around much longer. Because I'm hoping this is going to be the week. I want to bring your attention to one play, man, that Oklahoma game. If you didn't see it, go back and check the review or the replay of that interception that cat made in that game.
Incredible.
Bro, I'm like, he should just walk in the NFL right now. Just walk right. Just next week, go on. I mean, there's teams right now that can use him playing NFL because that right there was just phenomenal. But mainly, I mean, that, like I said, Wisconsin, Oklahoma. I'm not sure Oklahoma is as strong as they probably are ranked. So this to me, it kind of give me an idea. Whether they win or lose, I'm not sure if they're just that strong. So I want to kind of pay attention to them. I tend not to really pay attention too much to Alabama, even though I was playing Florida. Even though I saw the score was good, I just wouldn't turn the game because to me, I'm tired of thinking, okay, this is the game Alabama's going to lose, and then they win. So maybe I'd rather see Alabama lose, and I kind of catch it in the highlights and then we watch it live.
Okay. We will be giving you our reports next week on some of these key games. I want to take a look at, I know it's October 2nd, but I want to pay close attention to Ole Miss and Alabama. I want to see whether or not, I think Lane Kiffin is coaching that team, whether or not he can give Alabama a run for their money.
I'll say something real quick, man, because you pointed on the Arizona State, and I was very surprised that a Herm Edwards team was that undisciplined. I'm watching them. And knowing it's going all around, it's swirling around him, he may be a casualty at some point, man, without a job, bro. And it's going to be sad if it happens, but you look at Lovie Smith, he's back in the NFL as a coordinator. We might see Herm back next year on the NFL sideline being a coordinator with somebody.
Yeah, Illinois might be kicking themselves, the University of Illinois, because they let go of Lovie, and this coach is I think, worse than Lovie, and they just dropped 2 out of their 3. So everybody's always kind of really kind of getting rid of Lovie, want to get rid of him too quick. But, this guy, I don't know what he's doing with that football team. Now, the excuse is going to be, these aren't my guys, so this is the first year, but, we'll see. Malika Andrews, my baby at ESPN, lands her a spot in a new basketball show, Black. And we've been keeping our eye on her for a long time for obvious reasons, but she is very knowledgeable about the NBA and she does some great reporting, especially with the Brooklyn Nets. What are your thoughts about her new show coming out?
I love it. I think ESPN finally for the right time did something right. It's a breath of fresh air. You move in a different direction. I mean, we all know who she replaced. In my opinion, the person that she replaced was just too close to LeBron James. She's just LeBron James sucking out all that air in. It's like, you need someone sometimes just basically give it to you straight. At the same time, have a relationship, but don't let your relationship overpower the work that you're doing. And that's her. But I was happy that they finally decided to give her something. And they're giving her a wide range of things to do. It's not like, okay, just take this. But they're giving her a wide range, which is well-deserved. Congratulations to her.
Yeah, congrats to her, because she does a great job with the NBA. Ice, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think what's really lucky for ESPN is the fact that despite the controversy, they have something that's really going to be nice. She's providing an opportunity for her. She's going to be able to show people her talent, such a young talent too. So it's great for them. You do get to see her, what she provides on a different level, because normally she's been more of a supporter, and now it's to the point she's in the forefront. And I think those are the things we want to see more of. I know that we have folks that even follow us on Twitter. Good friend of mine, AJ Ross from CBS, is going to be making some moves too as far as the opportunity doing their own show. So great to see more women of color getting opportunities. I think it's going to make for great TV.
Yes, definitely. Congratulations. The next story I'm going to go to is Ben Simmons. He won't show up for a training camp. We talked a little bit about it last week. I saw that Doc Rivers is trying to really kind of patch this up, Black, and it's not looking good to get him back in a Philadelphia uniform. Basically what he's saying is that I will not be in a Philadelphia uniform, not coming back. I will hold out until I'm in another uniform. That's really bad. That's kind of saying, when that woman tells you it's over, ain't no way coming back. Black?
I think everybody's looking at us the wrong way. I'll be honest with you. And I think Doc is just saying what he got to say. Doc said what he meant at the end of that series.
Yes.
When they asked him, when he said, I don't know. I don't ask him. I'm paraphrasing. Ben Simmons act like he holds the cards here. Bro, if you choose not to come back and they're not paying you, they don't want to pay you. If they tried to trade for you, they can't get a trade. He act like has you put on the tape of what yourself in the playoffs? No one wants you, bro. And that's Ben Simmons' problem. I guess him and what's her name, Cam went to the same school of, I'm bigger than what I think I am. Bro, nobody wants you. If you sit out, you're doing them a favor. They don't want to pay you. Go ahead, sit out. Because you don't think that's forcing their hand. You're playing into the hand, you dumb idiot. Seriously, bro, they don't want to pay you. They don't need you. The backup point guard, which was a rookie last year, outplayed you all year. Bro, here's what you didn't understand. If you were a real man, real NBA player, you would have worked your little skinny yellow ass off in the offseason, got better, improved something to them. But you didn't. Now you're acting like a little weasel, a little bitch, and then I don't want to be it. Bro, they don't want you either. They just can't find a way to unload you to. So you know what? Don't show up. That money they owe you will be just put aside in the bank. They can care less. So to me, I don't care what Doc said. It's what the owner and what Morey is saying. Doc already spoke how he felt about him. Trust me, they don't want him to show up. So he's doing them a favor. Keep it out there, bro, like it's going to happen. And I'll get tired of ESPN and all this report. There's 6 teams. There's been 16 trading him since February, bro. Nobody wants Ben Simmons. Come on, you've been saying that for a long time. We need 6 teams. If you can't name them, shut the hell up. I'm tired of that. 6 teams in the mix. What are they? Who are they? What are they? I'm sorry. So I'm amazed when he's walking around acting like we didn't watch him in the playoffs and see that. You don't have it, bro. He's like you said something about a woman, and I say this and get out of the way. This is where he's like a woman, bro. He's flipping the script. He screwed up. He knows he screwed up, but he's making him out to be the bad guy. He's the victim. How are you the victim? All the millions they played, and you scared to take a layup in a playoff game? Bro, I'm sorry. Current day athlete, moaning and groaning when they don't know where they need to be. Please, don't show up. Do them a favor. Don't come to camp. Thank you. Let them give that money to somebody that deserves it, because damn sure you don't deserve it.
I can see a scenario where he doesn't come to camp, he doesn't start the season because nobody has really kind of made an offer that they feel is fair for Ben Simmons. That's a big time contract. And I can see Philly starting to win without him, and it gets worse for him. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I hear all that. You say it's getting worse and he's sitting out. Philadelphia knows they cannot afford to have him sit out. Okay, can they win? Yeah, but it's too much money. It doesn't make any damn sense. If you're going to be like that, I mean, I understand he's supposed to be a professional and whatnot, but at the same time, you're sitting on this money when you could be doing something else. You're trying to win, you got to move his ass. And I'm going, well, just let him sit out. You can't afford to do that. Philadelphia they're trying to win. You need to have some assets. You need to try to figure out somebody. One of the trades that they're saying that might make a little bit more sense now. Of course, we know Philadelphia, what they really want. They want Damian Lillard. Not happening. So we know that. Not happening. But there's a chance that Portland would be willing to come off of CJ McCollum, right? And some other picks. And it's like a 4-team trade. But at least CJ would be more, he produced more than Ben Simmons would. The other thing too, you could put T. Massey at the point, and you can run that too. They've been trying to get him on there too. That'd be a better, more serviceable team. Because right now, if you sit Simmons, you're paying him money, he's sitting there, he's not doing anything. It doesn't make sense. Move him or do something. If you don't want to, I mean, you wait, you don't just give it to him because you hold the cards. But why allow him to be a disruption? I'm getting off of him. I'm making a move. The CJ Cullum trade I would make that. I'm just saying, if I'm Portland, you might shake your head and say, no, Portland's not winning. I said that 5 years ago. I said it 2 years ago. If they stay paying, they are not winning. They are not winning. They don't have enough post players. They need a 3 guy, a small forward. Right where they are right now, you can say Damian Lillard, they're kind of cute. They scored 50 points one day, then the other one scored 35 the next one. They're not built for it, bro. We've been sitting here watching this for a minute. I'd rather get off McCollum, do something else. They're not winning. I mean, say what you want to about Simmons. I said from the beginning. It's my last comment on it. If you're going to, I mean, everybody's talking about Simmons. He's not producing. I get all that too. But Philadelphia, they put him in a position. He's out of position. Yeah. I said that from day one. He's not a point guard, man. He's not a point guard. So if you're going to do that, put him in a position where he can be, at least he can produce. And then Doc Rivers goes, well, I'm trying to talk to you. Ain't going to talk to him. It's a wrap. I mean, you keep saying that back and forth, whatever. All I'm saying is, I'm looking at this to see whether or not what's going to put us in the best position to win. Holding on to him, letting him sit on the bench is not what I'm saying. It's not, I don't think that's a good answer.
One thing is, I'm not going to give up McCollum for Simmons. because McCollum is much more valuable to me as a player. He can do a number of things that Simmons can't do. So I would think that if Simmons went to Portland, what could he do? What could he do? That's my thoughts on that.
Well, I just want, what could he do? They need a three. They need a three. You
He's
can
not
get
going
a
to
two.
play a three. He's not. His mentality is a point guard.
But right, but that's the problem. That's the problem. I mean, I'm just saying this. I'm just saying to you, that's the problem. You let these players say he's a point. He's not a point guard.
But Ice,
some team needs to say stop.
Let me just say this: you don't have to be a point guard to make a jump shot, bro. You don't have to be a point guard to make a free throw. I'm just saying, and it's so funny because here's where, to me, I like Philly not paying to let him sit down, because I watch Magic Johnson play center in a championship game. So my point is, if you're a basketball player, you'll play wherever they put you, bro. I don't give a fuck if they put you on the, you play. So that's what he's not. What he's not. No, what he's not is an NBA basketball player. That's what he's not. He's not a professional NBA basketball player. And we want to make him better than what he hasn't proven that to you since he's been in the league. I don't care if Doc talks or whatever. So I agree. Taking Cohen for him is like, you're going to basically, whatever Portland is now, I'm not saying they're NBA championship ready. But if you take him off, Cohen I'm speaking of, and put Ben Simmons, you make the team worse. Because Ben Simmons you're taking away what Cohen gives you and adding a deficit. The brother can't make a free throw. You know where he's really messed up? He messed up in his head. So you're rather telling me, when it gets down to nick and tuck, because it wasn't going to be tough this year, you can have him run up and down the court afraid to shoot. No one's forgotten that, bro. And at the same time, we could talk about trades all day. You don't have to sign off on a trade? An owner. What owner is going to pay that contract for him to basically go out there, can't shoot a free throw, can't make a jump shot, and is afraid to take the shot? So that's why I say again, you can talk about all these 16s, whatever. These owners pay attention, bro. They pay attention. And they have shown, no, they don't want him. They don't want him. That's why Philly can't get rid of him. They don't want him. Philly knew that night when he screwed up, they was ready to trade him. They don't want him. So he acting like he hold the card. What cards you hold? His agent has sit him down and let him be real. Again, he missed the boat in the offseason. We watched, look at what's saying a few years ago. Howard. Nobody wanted to touch Howard. No one. Howard humbled himself, went on TV and basically begged for a job. Guess what Howard got since then? A championship ring. When is this cat going to humble himself? He's still running around acting like he's it. He's not. He's not. And until he gets that in his head, bro, I would be surprised he sit the yard, because again, if you don't go back and play at Philly, and the part of the reason want to go back because they don't want him to play back. Not the ownership, the players don't want him back, bro. We don't think about that. OB don't want him back. They don't want him back. You want him on the court playing with you? Think about that for a second. You're going to throw him the ball, you don't know what he's going to do with it. You don't want that type of player back.
We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's from the start. I go back to the point about the Jimmy Butler thing. They should have kept the right players. They keep making damn mistakes. They're not going to win. They're not going to win. They keep shuffling around. They brought in Doc Rivers. They keep trying to put all this stuff together. You know, we can say Ben Simmons messed it up, but you put him in the wrong position. Should have brought in a real point guard. I've been saying that forever. And if they don't move him and they hold on to him, that's fine and well good. But they're not winning because they don't make smart decisions. That's what I'm saying about Philadelphia. And you can write that down. Yeah.
I've said it, and I'll say it one more time. They should have put him down on the block as a kind of a stretch four. That's the position that works better, because he can score on the inside when his head is right. He can score on the inside and get to the basket as a stretch four. But limit his time at point guard. Maybe getting a rebound, going off for a break and doing a break, that's fine. But as far as running a team, I don't think he's the guy. Ice, give me your Major League Baseball report, bro.
Yeah, real quick. American League West, Tampa Bay has clinched a playoff berth. So they're in. Tampa Bay leads Boston in the AL East by 6.5 games. In the Central, the White Sox lead Cleveland by 10.5 games. In the West, Houston leads Seattle by 8. And as we move forward in the National League East, Atlanta's up on Philly by 3. In the Central and National League, Milwaukee has clinched a playoff berth. St. Louis is 9.5 back in second place. In the West, San Francisco and the Dodgers have both clinched playoff berths, which is kind of cool. So they're just trying to decide who's going to be first, who's going to be a second, who's going to lead that division. But overall, starting to get down to the nitty gritty of it. This is Black Thor's favorite time of the year, besides Bird Girl season. So baseball's ending. He don't even know who the hell's. He don't know what team's going to play. Baseball's ending, and we was talking. You know, the rib. He can put his ribs on the George Foreman.
One more good time.
And this big girl season.
Baby.
And this big girl season. So he right where he needs to be.
Got a place to place my drink.
Ice, do the Yankees get in?
Yes. Oh yeah, they'll make it in. Yeah, they'll make it in. I think just because of the pitching, and then just the overall talent, right? They would have to really just spiral down, and for all the money that they spend, I mean, you watch them. They are 8 runs away now, right? Anytime they could be down 9 runs or 8, 9 runs, and within an inning or two, they can come back. So I think they do get in. I think they get more serious. And I'm not saying they're going to win anything, but I think they make the playoffs.
Yeah, Yankees need to get rid of Chapman as the guy they're going to close games. He is a disaster. Black Thor, your WNBA report. What are the lovely ladies doing?
And they're going to kick off the playoffs tomorrow night, bro. It all comes down to tomorrow night with the playoffs. And it's funny because it's been a long, I'm going to say tumultuous season, but a long season. They dropped the Olympics in. Stuff was going on with the COVID, all that nature, but they found a way to put together a real good season. Tomorrow night, they start the playoffs, and the first game is going to kick off. A couple of the first games are going to kick off. Be the Mercury. They're going to do battle with the New York Liberty. Now, I know I said this last week. I didn't think the Liberty was going to make it in.
I didn't think so either. Yeah,
I did not think it was going to be there, and I thought the Mystic was going to be there, and they found a way to kind of cough it up or maybe choke it up. They're not going to be there, and it's funny. I was reading the story since they lost. They ready to get rid of Eladon. They ready to do everything to clean up. I'm like, wait a minute. You all just won it a couple of years ago with it, but they're that upset that they're not going in. The Dallas Wings are going to take on the Chicago Sky. You know who plays for the Chicago Sky. They may not get past the first round, but
they made it. They made it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, look, I'll be tuning in. Dallas too. They playing Dallas. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely watching. I'm watching every game.
Miss Parker.
I'm watching every
Keep this
game.
in mind, though, the first round kicks off tomorrow night. And one thing about the WNBA that's a little different, actually a lot different. The first and the second round is 1 game elimination. You got to basically win or you go home. And I love that. I'll be honest. I know the NBA would never adopt that because too much money is on the table. But you either win or go home. Now, if they win, they go on to move. One of those 2 teams or 4 teams going to play the Seattle Storm or Minnesota Lynx, who's waiting basically in that round. Also, in the second round, be an elimination game. Now, when the smoke's all clears, when all those get together and they start playing, they move to the semifinals. They're going to meet the Connecticut Sun or the Las Vegas Aces. Let me remind you that Connecticut Sun closed this season out on a 14-game winning streak. Think about that for a second. They won 14 games to close the season out. So you have to believe they're going to be the favorite. But between them and Bill and Bears, Las Vegas Aces is going to be tough. Every time you just say to yourself, where's the WNBA is getting their money? How are they going to survive? What's going to happen? They turn around and get a sponsor. Dick's Sporting Goods become their official sponsor of good retail partners with the WNBA. So as much as we throw sand on them, we stop them, and we blow the candle out, they're not going to be around. Bruh, they set to be around for a few more years. So kudos to them. Tomorrow night, it's the playoffs. It's going to be a little tough because they're starting right against Monday Night Football in a sense. Thursday Night Football. But beyond that, I'll be flipping back and forth and checking them out. Good luck to all the teams.
Can I throw one thing in there?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those that want to join my watch party tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, ESPN2, Chicago Sky. Definitely going to be watching. I think you should join me. You don't have to have an alcoholic beverage. We can talk about it next week. But I want you to join me because I guarantee you will be entertained. I know I will be. Thank you.
I'm proposing that we have Steins for October, all October at Oktoberfest. So we have big mugs of beer every show.
Got you.
And usually when we drink during the show, the picks are very interesting. So
cheers.
All right. Questions from the squad. Ice, what's your first question, man?
First question is, do you think that the NFL will be affected by the the fans will be affected by the COVID situation, because right now we're seeing in college football and other places, there's no masks being required. Do you think the way that COVID is ramping back up again will affect the crowds that come to the game? Will they have to shut it down again?
Black?
Not at all, bro. Not at all. I mean, I'll say this: college fans tend to be a little different. They're more of a young, the majority might be a younger demographic, and they believe they're gonna live forever anyway. So you kind of put that in the mix. But I think realistically, what you're seeing with college and NFL games, when it comes down to the fans, they miss being at live sporting events, bro. And they're willing to take the risk. They don't care. They're willing to take the risk. They're out there. They're enjoying it. And, they're tailgating their back. And not only that, the NFL and college have basically welcomed them back and made them feel part of the game. Like, we miss you, wasn't here. They're constantly saluting them and letting them feel that love. So I just think that, a lot of people basically, we all kind of basically sacrificed some things in a sense, big or small, throughout the pandemic. And our lives have changed as far as entertainment level. But I think people are now ready to the point where they don't want to go back to that anymore, where I'm sitting home, I can't do this, I can't. They want that entertainment freedom for that reason alone. No, man. As long as NFL, is that ball's being tossed up, they're going to be in the stands paying attention, bro. They're going to be watching. I've yet to see any, other than the games I think where, one game I noticed when New Orleans was playing on the road, playing basically, they can't play New Orleans. Other than that, man, you can't tell me those fans aren't there and they're celebrating, having a good time, bro. They're out there. So that's not going to change.
What was interesting about this is that Chicago had Lollapalooza a few weeks ago, and they came out maybe a couple of days after it was over saying that there were really no incidents of people catching COVID, but there were. They just never reported it. And what they were finding was that people had fake CDC cards of being, tested and being vaxxed and all that other stuff. And it's more widespread than they think. So, and the other thing that I'm thinking too is that I know here in Chicago, the children are getting this and ending up in hospitals, and some of them are dying from this new variant. So I'm not really sure, bro, how that's going to affect it, because every time I watch a live event, especially in sports, you have maybe one person with a mask surrounded by 20, 30 people with no mask in baseball games, football games. And it just leads me to wonder, are they legit vaxxed and taking the precautions, or are they kind of faking it until they make it into the football game and spoiling it for everybody else? So usually it takes, they say, about 2 to 3 weeks before, the virus kind of gets into the system, and then it kind of, you get tested positive, things of that sort. I've even seen it in the school that I work for, folks popping up positive, things of that sort. So it's a wild card, bro. It's a wild card, but the NFL shutting it down, I don't know. It has to be really, really bad and serious for them to say, you know what, we got to shut this down. Or I think the NFL, what they would do is say, you know what, sorry fans, we got to take these precautions. We got to keep it rolling. You're not invited to the stadiums. We'll give you your money back, whatever. But I just can't see, the NFL, or hold the money until the next season or something like that. But I can't see them stopping the season, but maybe stopping fans from coming in. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the farthest they would go would be they would force people to mask up. They're not losing their money, bro. You can sit there like this with your hands over your face. They gonna do something. They're not gonna lose.
They're heartless.
You're gonna have to do that. They might have people, all right, sir, put your mask back on. They have people walking around, jacking people up through security, but they're not losing the money. It's just what it is. That's how they are. They go by their own rules. I know my younger cousin called me earlier this week, had tickets. He's going to buy the Ohio State game for this weekend. And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, it's going to be a great time. 11 years ago, you took me to my first game. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of nostalgic, kind of cool. Then I sat back and I looked at the mask policy and open air in the stadium. Nobody is required to wear a mask. I said, I'm 99 years old. Ain't no way hell I'm going out there. I called him back. I was like, yo, I'm sorry. I can't make it. I can't do it. Call me a scaredy cat. 76,000 to 100,000 people. And with no mask and people slobbering and tailgating and spitting on one another. And I'm vaccinated, but I'm good. I'm gonna watch that game right here. in the confines of my own home.
Did
But
you, did
and
you
the
see wings?
yeah,
Did you do barbecue?
and the only thing is, which is bizarre, and I said, this is how your life changes. For years, I used to work in the press box, right, going to the games. And the one place that you have to wear a mask now is in the press box. I'm like, I need to make a phone call.
Black, what's your question?
Give me their money back. That should be my question. Would the NFL give you your money back? Hey,
Oh, didn't you have some tickets to the Houston Texans game?
No, bro. I'm not buying it. I mean,
Okay.
you said the Texans are. Why would I buy tickets? I'll double down on that, man. NFL will do. They've lost so much money last year without having the fans there, bro. I'm sorry. I mean, I think if I remember roughly $45 to $50 million they lost last year on ticket sales alone, bro. That's not talking jerseys or anything else that they saw at the game. So they're going, man, please. It's got to be a mass. And they still won't. They got your money already, bro. They have your money already. You can't show up. It's not like an airfare. They allow you to reschedule your flight. You can't make it. NFL. You can't come. Oh, well, watch it over my night. We got your money.
That heartless man, God.
Oh, come on, you been watching. Where you been?
I know, but it's like, dang, that's rough.
Bro.
Like, oh, well. You
bought the tickets knowing the COVID was available. I'll be honest with you. You bought the tickets knowing. It's not like, what they supposed to do? Reschedule, put you in another seat for another game. They can't.
Yeah.
Money's heartless as business. Well, anyway, I don't know if you gentlemen saw this, man. I came across this. Jaylen Brown came out the other day. He was actually speaking to the Undefeated. He did an article on Undefeated. And he said about how NBA teams should hire more black coaches. Now, I love what a brother says that for one, but I love more so when he takes action to get it done. He was saying that when Brad, when Danny Ainge decided to step down and they made Brad move up into the general manager position, he went to general manager, he went to ownership and said, you guys need to hire a person of color for our next head coach. Guess what they did?
Yeah.
They hired a man of colors. Now, my question to you, gentlemen, this is that, I salute him. I do what I got to do. But why is this cat out here on his own? No one else is talking to him, supporting him. When I say no one else, no NBA player that looks like him is backing him, saying anything else about him. But a year ago, it was all this, with it. They did the Black Lives Matter. What?
Yeah. Ice?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think Jaylen Brown is a very astute individual, very intelligent. He's one of the guys that came out and said when he came out of college, because this is a guy that's still always learning, right? He's taking courses at university, he's helping and teaching and things like that. Guy's very intelligent. He was the guy too that said when he was coming out, an executive told him he was too smart to play in the NBA.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So those things, but for him to come up and rise up, because he has nothing to lose. His career is kind of cemented. So even they trading, he's going to be somewhere playing well, and so he could afford to do that. The other thing too that I want to say, I want to salute him, but I also want to salute the factor that when you saw the choices that Boston had to choose from, the gentleman that got the job was one of the best. A lot of people were sleeping on him. He was a top assistant. So for as much as we want to say, oh yeah, he's a man of color, he's one of the best. He's one of the best out there. And I think they really kind of got to steal because they didn't really know what was going on. Because if other teams knew how talented that guy was, they would have picked him up a long time ago. I think they slept on him. He's a talented guy. He's going to show you that. Plus two, Brad Stevens get out the way. And he can play that Danny Ainge role to that point where now you can get out the way because you couldn't handle it. This guy's ready.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown has always been a player that's under the radar, but one of the most intelligent players and intelligent men that play basketball. And I remember that incident where the executive told him he was too smart to play in the NBA. Think about that. Think about that statement. You're too smart to play in the NBA. What is he really saying? You got a bunch of dumb jocks that we can take advantage of, and he's not one of them. And so he's always pushing for equal rights, things of that sort. He's always learning. He's always speaking to folks about things that matter to the community. And you're right, Black. I've been saying this all along. When the temperature went down with Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff, you don't hear from these players anymore. You don't hear them kind of champion great causes and things of that sort, which really kind of disappoints me. And then in a way it doesn't, because, you know, you're not talking about a lot of great men. And we lived in an era where we had a lot of great men who championed that, who put their lives on the line, who sacrificed their careers to do that. You don't have that in this era of athlete. So for him to do that is kudos to him. And there are a handful of players in the NBA and the NFL and in other sports who do champion, but they don't get a lot of the attention. We spend most of the attention off the antics of some of the knuckleheads that play in this league instead of people who really matter. Your thoughts, Black?
Good point. Yeah, I salute him as well. And it's interesting because you spoke of the men of the past and the sacrifice. And that's what even in their current day sports now, there is no sacrifice to be made. And I say that to say that because you guys have guaranteed contracts. So whether or not they're going to pay you. If you walked up to an owner and said, hey, I want, you know, I think with your XYZ, he can't just get rid of you. He could be mad at you, but he's got to pay you, bro. So when we say sacrifice, there's no sacrifice for these cats to make. I think at some point, you know, and I'm not saying it's incumbent upon them, it's on their shoulders, but I think we really need to start to see them for who they really are. I mean, just how distant they are from us, because they really are. In their own world, they're not related to you or me. They're just not. As a Black man, they're not, bro. And I think that's what we need to start to see them as. Not a person that can put a damn ball to the basketball hoop. Not a man like Westbrook that walk around with a skirt and think it's okay. We need to see them basically how they dislocate themselves and disassociate themselves with us as Black men. That's my point.
Yeah. Last second shot.
For me?
Yep.
All right. Last second shot. I just want to say this. I was watching something earlier today, and with all the social media stuff going on around and turning my head, I'm watching the old WCW tapes and stuff. But I put something up on Facebook, man. I saw a 4-minute video with I think it was Tony Atlas and Ric Flair going at it. And they sold wrestling so much right there, man. Within 4 minutes, they didn't even wrestle. They slapped each other a couple times and they were jumping around. Ric Flair had a lady in front of him. They were running their mouths. But for 4 minutes, man, they made you want to turn them on, keep watching. I was like, this is what old school entertainment used to be. The wrestlers and the players were the sellers and you bought in. Now it's so, so messed up and convoluted that you just go, I don't even watch the crap anymore. And that's with a lot of sports. But I really just appreciate it. Took me back for a minute. I was like, I want to watch that right now. Where can I tune that in?
Black Thor?
Yeah, I know earlier you said that NFL will give people their money back. Bro, have you realized the gambling that NFL has basically opened the door to in recent past years? Yeah. Remember before they didn't want to be in Las Vegas. Now you can bet on if Andy Reid's going to tie his shoelace, in a sense. I saw a headline where Tony Dungy said if they continue down this road, he's going to walk away. Tony, I love you, bro. If you're going to walk away, walk away. Don't let it be for gambling. There's many other things the NFL has done wrong. You chose not to walk away. Gambling should not be one of them. But I think we should pay attention to really what's going on with this, man, because they're really starting to make it so easy for the ones that basically want to gamble and probably shouldn't be gambling to spend their money and not even focus on the game, to spend their money and take their money. So they found a new stream of revenue to basically pull in. And we should kind of keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, they're even talking about putting a NBA basketball team in Las Vegas too. That should be very interesting. I think it should go to Seattle first, but that's just me. I mentioned this on last week's show about the Ken Burns documentary on Muhammad Ali. I watched the first 3. The final one is tonight. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen this, go find it. The documentary is excellent. It taught me so many things that I did not know about Muhammad Ali, about his father, about some of the inner workings of his business deals and things of that sort. And the way Ken Burns sets it up, where if he introduces a character like a Sonny Liston, like a Joe Frazier, he gives you the history of where they came from, all this other stuff, to make it an integral part of the story of Muhammad Ali. So it's just not about Muhammad Ali. It's about all these great fighters. And it made me miss Black and Ice, the old fighters and how they used to go at it. I looked at that and was like, man, I don't know if I ever want to watch another boxing match in this era again. The way these guys go. I mean, when Ali and Frazier fought the second time and Frazier was in the hospital for 10 days, or no, the first time, and he was in the hospital for 10 days, that was a fight. And he won the fight. That was a fight. So it made you reminisce and miss a lot of stuff that boxing used to be. Not saying it was perfect, but those great fighters and how they went at it and how Ali just continually reinvented himself as a fighter, it was just spectacular. That's going to do it for our show, Stick and Stay, for our NFL picks. Black Thor is in the lead. You can see that big smile he got, and he's going to be talking smack. Ice Water is getting set because he's closely behind one game in second, and I'm pulling up the rear. And me and Pop got to do some kind of meeting, and I got to find out what he's getting in these picks and how he's picking his picks. But stay tuned for our NFL picks, week 3. Welcome to our NFL picks, week 3 with the Goon Squad. Black is looking real pretty in first place, and we'll give out the numbers a little bit later. But I'm gonna let you have your little say, man, before we start our picks, before you get into the summary, man. So what do you want to say, bro, about your picks? You went 11-5. You and Ice went 11-5 this week, and I went 8-8, and Pop went 9-7.
I'm gonna do something that I don't know what they would do on this show. I'm gonna humble myself.
You're gonna humble yourself.
Humble myself.
What's happening?
I'm gonna say that I just glad I had a good week for the fans because I was disappointed in myself for the first week. I let the fans down, and I believe I served the fans well in this week. So I'm gonna humble myself and say, yes, I look forward to week 3. You know, there were some games that kind of jumped out a little bit. I think that Miami should be kicking himself in the foot because everyone kind of said to him in the offseason, you need another quarterback. You need another quarterback. And we kind of see now that they kind of believe in a quarterback that just may never be right for them, in my opinion. And I'm going to leave it with this. If I was the Indianapolis owner, I think his name is Jim Hersey or whatever, I would have came down that sideline during that game, and me and Wentz would have been fighting, bro. Fighting. You don't pull yourself out of a game as an NFL quarterback with a sprained ankle, bro. Wrap that
sprained ankles. How you sprain 2 sprained ankles in the same play?
Bro, you wrap that up. I don't care if you limp them on the field because they could have beat the Rams, bro. They had the Rams. They had them. And he chose not to. I'm sorry, bro. So to me, I'm going to leave that and say I humbly await our picks. But I am in first place.
Wow, that's a first. I've never seen this man humble in my entire life, and I've known him all my life. Give me a summary of last week, man, in the NFL.
I'm shocked. He humbled 2 weeks in a row. He talking about Tom Brady, great. Then he talking about this other week. The hell's going on? No wonder the picks is messed up. Gee, many Christmas. Anyway. Wow. Chicago versus Cincinnati. I was surprised by the Chicago's win over Cincinnati. You talk about messed up ankles and tore up ankles. I'm going to call the NFL office to ask them, was Andy Dalton really hurt? Or is Chicago really trying to put this young man, Justin Fields, in a hard way so bad that Andy Dalton looked pretty good holding that clipboard for a while. He looked like he was, hopping around and nothing. He looked pretty good as Justin Fields secured the game. And I'm wondering, I'm like, man, there has to be something wrong with this. Something when you endanger a young man like that because you wanted to play so bad when you brought him there to watch. But that's Chicago. Anyway, that's another story. I don't understand it. The Raiders' victory over Pittsburgh, wow. I was surprised by that. I thought Pittsburgh was going to do something and be ready to go, but Raiders got them and took them down. Titans, like I said, came back over Seattle. Kind of something bizarre for yourself there too. Surprised by that, definitely. And then the way that the Ravens were able to kind of eke that out, that victory over KC. So it was definitely interesting. We don't know. This week is kind of wild. Much love to the fans too. Glad I was able to kind of keep up with Black Thor a little bit. But this week, I'm trying to tell y'all, something's going to happen because somebody is going to make a choice that they might regret. And I hope it's not me. It ain't gonna be.
Might be me.
Let's
'Cause
go.
I gotta catch up.
That's what we counting on, baby.
I made some picks last week that if I'm sitting here watching the teams that made bad decisions and bad play, like Philly, and the bad play call for a touchdown, they could have. I just thought Philly just had that. And the Giants, I picked Washington, but the Giants in the Washington game last Thursday was a really good game because I know I've been complaining about, man, these Monday night games and these Thursday night games are no good. That was actually a good game. I sat there after I watched the second half and I'm like, man, these teams are really going at it. They really want to win. So I'm really kind of behind the 8 ball now. And we'll go to the leaderboard. Black Thor has a 20-12 record, followed by Ice with a 19-13 record. Pop has a 17-15 record. I'm at 500 at 16-16, but I got to do much better, as Black say, for the fans. So our pick order this week is Ice Water, followed by Pop, Black Thor, and then I'm going last, so I get to watch what they're doing. Yeah.
Who went last week?
Ice Water.
Oh, okay. I thought I was last week, bro. Maybe I got it wrong, man. Maybe I got it wrong. Next week I'm last. Okay. All right. I understand you got to catch up.
And away we go. First game on tap, Ice, is Carolina at Houston, the Thursday night game. What you got?
Wow, Thursday night game. You never know what the hell is going to happen. Let's see. Tyrod Taylor is out. You said Carolina, right?
Carolina versus
Sam Darnold has really kind of showed everybody that he's not a piece of lint or garbage, trying to show you that he can be halfway decent, just put him with a decent team. So with that in mind, I don't care how hard they play for, the Texans are playing for their new coach. I'm choosing Carolina.
Okay. Pop is also going with Carolina. Black, who you got?
Yeah, I'm impressed with Donald. I got to admit, man, slightly, not a lot, because the past 2 weeks he's been slinging that ball the way he didn't sling it in New York. I don't know if the coaching's got him playing better, but I will give the Texans credit. They're playing hard, they're battling, and they're doing what they can. Excuse me, it's going to be interesting to see now. They lost 2 games, that how they kind of come out and play this week, but I can't rule with them. Even though they're home, I can't rule, man. I think that Carolina, basically, their defense will be enough to kind of stifle them. They're playing a backup quarterback. You know, if they're Tyrod Taylor, I'll still choose the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers for this one.
Yeah, even though I'm not a big fan of Darnold and expecting him to regress back to the old Darnold that I know with USC and the Jets, he's been playing some great ball. He's been using his tool. Caffrey, all those tools that Carolina has, he's been able to use them. So I have to go with Carolina on this one. Next game on tap is Arizona at Jacksonville. Ice, who you got?
Wow, Arizona showed you a little bit extra something last week, right? With a big win at home. Jacksonville is, wow, they're already calling for Urban's head. A lot of people are already two games in. It's like, dang, can a man breathe? Can he finish the season? I'm not sure. It's not a lot of confidence going on in Jacksonville. So Arizona just because I think will win, even though they're on the road. So I'm going to choose Arizona.
All right. Pop is going with Arizona also. Black, who you got?
The Cardinals are on fire, baby. This quarterback, I've watched him grow, but he's playing at a level right now. I hate to kind of say this early to him, but if he can keep this level going, he's going to be in the MVP race at the end of the season, bro. If he can maintain this Kyler Murray is balling out, bro. He has a receiver. When you got AC Green, who they brought out of the witness program, and he's balling for you. You got something, man. I'm not big on their running game. That's something that bothers me a little bit. Their defense was a little suspect over the weekend, but Jacksonville is what it is, man. I kind of hate to predict this, but I did. Where when you brought in Tebow, you lost that team, bro. You lost the team, and now they don't have that fighting spirit for him. They start out well, and ironically, I think their quarterback is going to be something. I think he is going to, watching him for the first 2 games, I wasn't sold on him coming out of college, but I think they might have something to the quarterback, but I don't think that team is going to be tough enough, mentally tough enough. And at some point, it may be this week, 2 weeks down the road, they're going to give up on this coach. They're going to give up. They're going to take their paychecks. They're going to show up, and they're going to get massacred. It might be this weekend. So with that being said, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Did I send you all the picture of the football player looking at the back of Urban Meyer's head like he could kill him? I was like, wow. I mean, that when you said that last week and I saw that picture, I'm like, whoa, that looked like that. I don't know what he did to that dude, but that dude looked like he could have took his helmet off and just hit Urban Meyer upside the head. But I'm gonna go with Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is doing this thing in Arizona, so it's Arizona across the board. The next game on tap is Atlanta versus the Giants. Ice, who you got?
Wow, it's a tough game right here. When Cordell Patterson, a wide receiver, is serving as the primary running back for the Atlanta Falcons, somebody's in trouble. I don't know what's going on with Matt Ryan. What always has been. And now you let Julio Jones go, and then you expect to still make things happen. I think they're struggling all the way around. Matt Jones is Matt Jones. It's not pretty, but they played strong last week. They act like they wanted to try to win the game. With that being said, I got it. Ain't no problem. I'm going with the Giants. The Giants are going to win that game. It's the curse of Julio Jones. You may never hear me pick them all the rest of the year, but they showed me something last week, and I'm rolling. Let's go.
All right, Pop is going with ATL. Black, who you got? He's thinking. He's pondering. He's
This is the one right here that threw me for a loop because Atlanta, for some reason, I thought they was going to roll over to Tampa Bay. They didn't. They stood up. They didn't stand up that tall, but they did stand up. But I don't trust them traveling. I just don't, for whatever reason. I know they traveled to Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay was a interconference game, so I think they kind of got themselves geared up. I haven't really watched the Giants this year, but if Giants defense is what they say it is and what it should be, they should be able to hold Atlanta to small points. And Giants did score on a pretty good defense last week. Judging by the score, I didn't watch the highlights. They did score. So, and they had, I did see one play where that receiver dropped the ball. That should have been a touchdown, bro. You wide open. I don't care who threw that ball. I hit you in the hands. You got to catch that, man. So, I'm gonna go out on the limb. I'm gonna do this and kind of close my eyes. I'm gonna say the Giants, man, because I just have no faith in Atlanta at all. It's hard, man. It's just hard to have. You look at them, and their defense is matador. I mean, we could put together 6-7 guys right now and get out, and I think we could score Atlanta Falcons defense, bro. I believe that.
Yeah, I thought I would have this pick all by myself, but I'm going with the Giants also. Even though they lost that game, if they can eliminate the mistakes they made, they would have had that game easy against Washington and against a pretty good defense. And you can see the frustration of the offense with Jones and not getting the ball and all this other stuff. They had some extra days of practice. Maybe they can get that together and have a great game at home in the Meadowlands. So it's Pop is the only one going with Atlanta on that one. Next game on tap is Baltimore versus Detroit. All right, so you got.
Wow, Detroit, the defense played hard. They did all they could, but it wasn't enough. I think they can build on something. I mean, that just means a lot. They play hard. Then after a while, Aaron Rodgers was like, all right, so this is what we're about to do for real, seriously. Thank y'all for the effort, but we're going to show y'all what time it is, and that's what they did. But I like Detroit, they were strong. But I don't see Baltimore having a setback. Lamar got by with one last week. They didn't play great, but I think they're going to try to turn over and do what they had to do, move forward. So I'm choosing Baltimore.
All right. Pop is also going with Baltimore. Black, who you got?
When you say an ugly win, there's a picture of the Baltimore Ravens this year, bro. They can win.
Win is a win.
Yeah, they can definitely win ugly. I will say this, though. Even though they beat Kansas City on Sunday, if it came down to the playoff, I'm not taking Baltimore in the playoff. I'm going to take them this week. I'm going to take the Ravens against Detroit. I think Detroit they're playing with some vigor. They're playing their hearts out. They're trying, but it's not much in the cupboard, bro. It just ain't much there. And they're probably undercoached, at the all said and done. And I just don't trust them. So, I know they're going to be home. Their fans will probably be there supporting them. But as we've seen on Sunday night, if it comes down to it, Lamar can put that team on his back and will them to a win. For that reason alone, I'm going to take the Ravens.
I love the way the head coach looked at Lamar for that fourth down play, said, Lamar, you want to go for it? I mean, put it in his hands. And it's like, yeah, I'm going for it. And like, it's in your hands. that shows a lot of trust for a head coach. That's your job.
Yeah.
That's your job. Hey, you want to go for it, and you're giving him that decision to do that. And that's not the first time he's done that. And remember when Harbaugh was on the hot seat, and they're about to fire him, and they put Lamar in, and it probably saved his coaching career
Oh, he did.
at that particular time. So he owes. It feels like he owes a lot to Lamar, and I got to go with Baltimore. Detroit, they're going to figure out that Goff. They got the raw end of that deal with getting Goff in, because Goff is just not an elite quarterback. I remember having this back and forth with this guy on Twitter about Goff being an elite quarterback. How you like me now? How you like Goff now? Because Goff is just not the guy. And I feel sorry. I feel bad for the folks in Detroit who really, I think, deserve a good football team there. And they could never just get it together. And maybe they'll get better down the road, but they just seem to always get in their way when it comes to winning football games. Next game on tap should be an interesting one with my man starting. Fields is starting, and just announced today, Ice doesn't like it. But I said 3 games, he'll be in there, and he's in there. I don't know how hurt Andy Dalton is, Ice, but they get Cleveland at home. Who you got?
Well, I tell you, this is really bad because now he's running against Cleveland. Cleveland defense has been getting after it a little bit, right? So, man, that's going to be, I mean, I just hate to see it happen on an injury. If he's out playing the quarterback, Andy Dalton, that's great. But Andy Dalton might need to get healthy because Cleveland's defense is going to be coming, seriously. So it hasn't been pretty for Cleveland, but their offense has been moving the ball. They have a solid 1-2 punch at running back. Baker, if he gets out of his own way, they can move the ball a little bit. Defense is capable. So with that being said, as much as it pains me to see him out there, good luck, Justin, but I got to go with the Browns.
All right. Pop is going, with Cleveland. Black, who you got?
It'd be a learning experience for the quarterback of the Bears, which is really what he needs at this point. But I don't think he's going to do well, not against the Brown defense. I don't expect him to, but he'll learn something and he'll gain some valuable experience, which you need. He should have been there, in my opinion, week 1, because you weren't going to the Super Bowl or to the playoffs with Andy Dalton. You knew that. I mean, you drafted or you signed him before you was able to get this young cat. Look at the Jets. Bad as it is, the cat's playing and he's learning. Put him out there, let him play. And basically, not only let him play, Nagy has to design an offense to his strength. You have to do that. You just don't go throw him out there and expect him to do what you want him to do. Kind of tailor it around him a little bit. But Cleveland has a dynamic 1-2 punch running game, man. Even if they just rely on that alone, they should win this game easily. Just rely on that because they can move the ball, bro. So I'm gonna take the Browns with this one.
All right. I'm gonna, even though I want Chicago to win under Fields, I gotta go with the Browns. I'm rooting for Fields to do well, but I gotta go with the Browns until that Chicago offensive line gets better, or he can figure out a way to use him and his talents in that offense, because you can't run the same plays for Andy Dalton as if you're going to run the same plays for Field. It's not going to work. Field has a much better talent and just a much better setup. He can use his feet. He can get more time in the pocket. But I'm rooting for Chicago in this game, but I got to go with Cleveland with this one.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
This sounds like the second week in a row that you've been saying that you going against Cleveland, but you pick them. So I'm trying to figure out, either you as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan are just hating that much on Cleveland and just don't give them they just do, or pick against them. I mean, this is the second week in a row you just said that.
Here's the thing with Cleveland. They always find a way to get in their own way. They always find a way to do that. And then if they can convince me that they can come in the game and dominate, and you know that they can control the game throughout the game, then I'd be more comfortable with picking them. But when you got Baker Mayfield out there, I just don't trust him sometimes. If he starts passing too much, he's going to make mistakes. They're just like the Dallas Cowboys. And Dallas did a better job last week.
Here we go.
Running the ball more instead of passing the ball more. So I think if they can stay with the run, I think Cleveland will win it. But I'm rooting for Fields. I got a lot of respect for him, what he did in college in those playoffs last year, being hurt, coming out there and winning that game. and I've been a big fan of his ever since that. So
you should be ashamed of yourself for him wanting him to be out there. You and Blackthorn trying to get that young boy hurt. Y'all
it's
should
football.
be ashamed of yourself.
It's football. It ain't tiddlywinks. It's football. He got to get out there sometime.
You saw at the draft, he didn't want to be drafted.
No, he didn't want to be.
You saw the look on his face. And Chicago Bears, like, he's like, what the hell?
Next game on tap is Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Ice, who you got? I know you hate Pittsburgh. I know you're from Ohio. I know you're picking. Let me just write down Cincinnati right now.
I don't hate Pittsburgh. I'm not buying into all of the hype like other people did last year. Oh, they're 11-0. We going to the Super Bowl. How'd that work out for you? Like Dallas, how'd that work out for you? Don't matter. If you don't make it, how'd that work out for you? Anyway, as much as you think I hate Pittsburgh, I'm a realist. I'm trying to win. I told y'all that before. I'm not getting caught up in all them little sad things with the teams and all that stuff. I'm here to win. I'm here to defend the title. I'm here to win. I'm going with Pittsburgh. Cincinnati simply, I don't know what happened to Joe Burrow. You cannot expect him to be a franchise player and just lead the team all the time. You got to help him. One thing I do like about him, he's a dog. He's a monster. Dude said after he came up and he got his boy Chase back in the game, threw him another touchdown. And he said, so I thought he was dropping the ball all the time in the preseason. He went right after the reporters. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's going to make Cincinnati better. Just not this week. Pittsburgh.
All right. Pop is going with Cincinnati.
Ooh.
He's going with Cincinnati in this game. Black, who you got?
Yeah, I can understand Pops doing that. I'm not going to walk with him, but I can understand because Cincinnati's trying. And, they're coming along, but this is the game here. Pittsburgh, for some reason, gets a nasty taste in their mouth when it's an inside their division, bro. And they will always kind of show the other teams that they are the king of their division. And I don't trust the Steelers. I watched them Sunday. I know I watched them the first week. They I don't know what Buffalo was doing, but Buffalo, they kind of handled Buffalo. But I think we saw Pittsburgh basically last Sunday what they really are. They can't really run the ball yet. The offensive line is not really gelled. Ben is not, Ben is trying to be what he was 10 years ago. And still, he's hanging on to the ball way too long. Juju Smith is only running 6-yard patterns. What the hell is going on, bro? 6 yards? He's scared to go down the field? Yeah. I don't understand. You've always been Antonio Brown, the next Antonio Brown. But I think their defense is going to hold up enough to get past Cincinnati. And for that reason, I'll take him, man. I'll take the Steelers with this one.
Yeah, I didn't. When Pop said Cincinnati, I kind of like, huh? Then I thought, Roethlisberger might not be playing with a pectoral injury. And so the two quarterbacks they have left is Randolph and what's the name from Washington?
So Roethlisberger's going to play, bro.
Oh, my God.
Roethlisberger's going to play.
Yeah.
Where's the game? Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so if he goes down, then you have those two to depend on, and it may get a little ugly. So, but I'm going with Pittsburgh, the home team. Next game on tap is Indianapolis versus Tennessee. Who you got, Ice?
Wow. Woo! Indianapolis trying to show you a little something. Carson Wentz is being out, they want to play. Wow, this is going to be an interesting game. I'm going to go with Tennessee. They showed me something last week when they beat Seattle. Came back. Seattle defense just kind of faltered very quickly. And Indianapolis is a very decent team. Wentz is in the way. Maybe they'll do better without him. This is when you wish you had Jacoby Brissett. That's for another day. You should wish you had him because he can at least move the team along. But I'm going to go with Tennessee. All
right. Papa's going with Tennessee. Black, who you got?
I'm going to say this, man. I remember his first week when Tennessee got shellacked. Took a shellac, and the head coach called out Julio Jones for doing something stupid. I'm like, wait a minute. You could have called out the whole team, but you called out Julio because he's new to the bus, so you gotta pick on Julio. You don't want to call the whole team. But it worked. For whatever reason, it kind of galvanized them. They woke up this week, and I think they don't wake up anymore. I don't trust the coach, bro. I mean, here again, you got a quarterback that's afraid to be out there when they really need to be out there. I'm sorry, man. I can't put any trust in. Tennessee will take this game rather easily.
Yeah, how do you sprain both ankles? I've never heard that before in my entire life.
Bro, he doesn't want to play. He don't want to play.
Yeah. Got to go with Tennessee on this one. Indianapolis, I said it week 1. I said it week 2. I'm going to say it this week. They're in a shambles. And they need a quarterback. Next game on tap, LA Chargers versus Kansas City. Ice, what happened to Kansas City last week?
Well, you know, they get up and down. I mean, and you play against one of the top quarterbacks in the league, so it can happen. I mean, if you think they're gonna run the table, now they might lose 1 or 2 games, but when they're right, and that's one thing about Kansas City. So Chargers put a nice valiant effort up against Dallas, but well, I'm just saying from the standpoint of it was probably closer than what it should have been, but they had a chance to try to do a little something. But Kansas City is the type of team that when they let you think you're close, and when you get close like they did to Cleveland, they just go, "We see you, bye-bye." That's what they're gonna do to the Chargers. So easy, they're gonna just run the ball, move the ball around. They're gonna try to show the young man Herbert over with the Chargers that you still got some work to do, and they'll get it done. So especially with that they lost. So I'm gonna go with Kansas City.
All right. Papa's going with Kansas City. Black, what you got?
I'm going to say this, and this is a little off the beaten path, man. The assistant coordinator, hang around, because I don't think Andy Reid's going to be head coach of that team much longer, bro. I'm just going to say this. I think after this year, I'm going to give him 2 years tops. I think
we discussed this last year, and you were like, Andy Reid ain't going nowhere.
But bro, did you see him? He don't look good, man. Yeah. I said that to you Sunday night. Andy Reid doesn't, in my opinion, don't look healthy. He just don't. Something about him, can't put my finger on it. But that's not a healthy man we're watching, bro. So he may not have a choice. Bro. So the enemy, stay right there, bro. Don't even take offers nowhere else. Don't think about USC. Don't even give it consideration. Stay right there. That's your team for the future. You got your quarterback. You got your players. Stay there. Let them give you the job. With that being said, I agree with Ice. They kind of, if that fumble didn't happen in that game, I know Baltimore won. Let's be honest, man. But you take away that fumble, which was good by that rookie to knock the ball off for the Ravens, but you take that fumble away, and that running back really never fumbled.
Yeah,
that game is over, bro. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm just going to say what it is. And so, in my opinion, they had a little small hiccup. They'll bounce back. They'll be stronger this week. I still think sometimes the quarterback maybe tries to do a little bit too much. And, I know he's got the arm. He needs to kind of dial it back sometimes a little bit. If he does that, they're going to be good. Their defense sometimes is showing a little bit of being a suspect, just a little bit. Kansas City defense, it's not the same defense they won the Super Bowl with. It's just not. Some of the same players, but they don't play with that same tenacity for some reason. But they'll win this one. I'm going to take them. Even in saying that, the Chargers are coming, bro. The Chargers are coming. I took them last week. I didn't take them last week, but I took them last week. But the Chargers are coming. They're not that far off the mark. They're on their way. Yeah. Nice coordinator, too.
They made too many mistakes last week. And that's why when I was saying they played a great game, I'm like, nah, they made too many penalties. I mean, crucial penalty, taking them out of field goal range, stopping drives, things of that sort. They need to grow a little bit more. Another thing about USC, they're trying to lure Coach Prime to USC. Reggie Bush is trying to say that's the perfect coach for. Leave these black coaches. You didn't want these black coaches before. Why all of a sudden you want them now since they're succeeding in other spots? Leave Coach Prime alone. Let him stay at Jackson State. Do not, Coach Prime, please don't go to USC. You're good right where you are. But I got to go with KC on this one. Kansas City needs to improve their defense. They need to improve their defense. I don't know what's going on with it. You can't just get behind 2 or 3 touchdowns and then, expect to come back all the time. That's not going to happen. So the defense, I have no problems with the Kansas City offense. They score many points they need to score. Defense, you got to lock teams down. You got to stop them from scoring, or this team is not going back to the Super Bowl. Next game on tap. Just when I was giving this guy some praise, he reverts right back to who he was before. You got New Orleans against New England. Ice, who you got?
Oh my God.
Just when you thought it was the coast was clear, here he comes. And I don't know what happened from week 1 to week 2.
Wow, this is a tough game, man. It's really a tough game because it's in New England. Mac Jones is not really the greatest, but they've been moving them around and making plays, and the defense is kind of rising up. And damn, Jameis on the road. Oh my God.
Making Ubers.
Yeah. It's just but you know what? I like New England. I should go. It's the home team and second coming of Tom Brady, right? So they're ready. Hell with that. Let's roll it. New Orleans, man.
New Orleans.
Famous Jameis. Yep. Famous Jameis.
All
Yeah,
right.
I don't think the coach is going to, sit back and watch for this bad play. And also, too, their defense, when they want to play, they're going to rise up. I think they're coming from Mike Jones. So I think the defense by itself can win. So as long as he doesn't turn the ball over. But and you still got Kamara. Yeah, I'm rolling with the New Orleans Saints. Yep.
All right. Pop is going with New Orleans. Black, who you got?
I'm gonna tell you something. I can't do this. When I said it was a game that scared the hell out, this is the game that scared the hell out of me.
This is it. This is the one.
Yeah, this is the one right here, man.
Go ahead, bro. You got a little lead. You can handle it. You got a little lead.
Belichick is not Belichick. And if Belichick is anything, he's a defensive mind genius. When I watched Jameis just throw the ball at all damn big passes last week, I was like, bro, come on, man, no. It just says sometimes you can paint the colors over a zebra, but a zebra is still a zebra. The stripe is still underneath. So, with that being said, I'm taking the Patriots, bro.
Wow.
I'm taking the Patriots because I just don't. Maybe if they was in the back home, but Jameis is Jameson, and Belichick from a defensive scheme is going to confuse the hell out of him. He's going to be seeing ghosts, bro, and that's going to be enough to keep that game tight. Where the Patriots will find a way to win. They might block a punt, turn a kick, something they're going to do that you don't expect, and they're going to take this, man. I just when I looked at this game, there's no way I looked at it and thought New Orleans had a chance, and I still don't think they have a chance, bro. Okay. I think that team basically has dropped down. It's hard to believe, Drew, but I think their window's been closing for a while. And Jameis, if they would have kept Bridgewater, that's the guy they should have kept. Years ago, they should have kept him there. I don't know why they let Bridgewater go. But they had Bridgewater playing the Patriots, without a doubt, I would take him. I can't trust Jameis, man. Patriots, here we go.
I'm going to go with famous Jameis one more time. And Black, I hear everything you're saying, and I agree. But I'm going to go for Jameis. One more. It can't happen 2 weeks in a row. And I'll come back next week. If it does, I'll come back and like, you were right, I was wrong. But
Thank you, sir.
It can't happen. He can't do this 2 weeks in a row. Coach Payton cannot let him do this 2 weeks in a row. Right. He can't. If he doesn't, you got to yank him. You got to yank him because you cannot allow him to go on that 30 interception, season that he had and throwing for 5,000. You can't do that. You can't afford to do that with this team. And it's a talented team. You can't afford to do that. Next game on tap is Washington. This should be a good one. At Buffalo. Ice, who you got?
Wow. I just want to say, Kamara's not going to let that happen 2 weeks in a row either. You got to give him the ball. Just give it to him. They'll win, basically. If he give Curry the ball 20 times, they're going to win. Get the ball to Kamara. Thank you. I only have him on my fantasy team, but I wanted to have the ball. Anyway, Washington, Buffalo. Washington, with their backup quarterback, kind of eked something out. He showed me a little toughness, made a horrible decision. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness, we're doing that interception. It's like, what are you doing? But they came back. They're able to get a redo when they missed the field goal, got another redo. The Giants, I was like, I know they're like, really?
I wasn't even surprised.
I was like, the Giants are like, we won the game, right? No.
Yeah.
False start or whatever. I mean, kept holding defense. It just kept going on and on. I'm going to go with Buffalo. I have to because I saw the young quarterback in Washington. He's going to be decent. I mean, he's getting better, but Buffalo has the weapons. And the way they lost and got shellacked earlier in the year, they have to win the games they know they're capable of winning. They can't afford to slip up. So that's going to help them down the line. So they just got to step up, and I think they will. So Buffalo.
All right. Papa's going with Buffalo. Black, who you got?
Yeah, I think Buffalo will win this one too. I was impressed the way they bounced back last week. They'll do the same to Washington. Washington has a good defense, but by third or fourth quarter, they'll figure that defense out and they'll be taking it down the field. And if the Giants are going to Washington defense, Buffalo's gonna put up some points. I'm take the Bills.
I agree with that. It's Buffalo across the board. They did bounce back real nice after getting beat by Pittsburgh in Buffalo. So Buffalo across the board. The next game on tap should be an easy one. Miami, Tua's out against Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is at home. Ice, who you have?
Man, this is the thing where it really hurts. You wish that Miami could really get some people to move the ball, or they have some people they could really throw the ball to and move around. I think they have one of their, what's the wide receiver is supposed to be coming back. Is he back this week? What is the wide receiver that was on suspension? Oh my God, I can't even think of his name. I think he's on my fantasy team. But they got a, huh?
I can't think.
Yeah, he's on suspension because of PEDs or something. Anyway, coming off suspension. But regardless of the fact that they had that, because Jacoby Brissett brought his name up again, is now should be starting. So that makes things real interesting if you had somebody to throw to. It's almost like you playing in Indianapolis again. If I had somebody to throw to, I could do it. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. Who are they playing again?
Las Vegas.
That's not near any damn better. But at least Las Vegas, if nothing else, Carr has not gotten in his own way. They're playing, I think, above their coach's mentality right now. Defense is playing up, and I'm not trying to be funny, but if I hear another NFL story every time they talk about it, how many people have are in rehab, I'm just like, damn, man, what the hell is this? Is this AARP or is this the rehab team? That's all they talk about. I mean, I'm glad about the journey, but let's talk about when we're gonna get to the football too. I'm glad they are recovering or not, whatnot, but they throw that right in your face. And with that being said, I'm gonna roll with the Raiders.
All right. Papa's going with Las Vegas. Black?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Raiders as well. I mean, they're playing some pretty good football, bro. I watched them 2 weeks for off and on a little bit. Cars slinging it around, and this team is playing inspired. And I don't think it's because the head coach. I just think they feel they might have something. They're playing inspired. And they're playing some dog with them. So on inside of them, I don't trust Miami, man. I think Miami was going in the right direction. But again, I think in the offseason, they hedged their bet. When you got players speaking out against your quarterback, defensive players, they see him in practice, knowing he ain't the real deal. You may want to pay attention, bro. And I just don't know if Tua. I hate to kind of just drop this on him, but I don't think he's gonna have the career in the NFL we've seen him had in Alabama. I just don't think so. I think that body is a little beaten down. I'm scared for him, but I'm gonna take the Raiders with this one.
Yeah, it's the Raiders across the board. I'm going with Las Vegas also. Next game on tap is the New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos. And Ice, I know you remember this game last year. It didn't work out too well for you in your pick last year. Who you got?
It worked out last week though. I told you.
Touche.
I told you. Anyway, the Jets, I don't know what the hell is going on. I watched for about 15 minutes. I turned it off, and I know I'm going to be okay because they're not going to win. Denver is they're a complicated team. They're not the prettiest team, but they find ways to win. Look about Teddy Bridgewater, right? Teddy ball game making it happen, pushing the ball down the field, and their defense is rising up. They're getting a lot of contributions from guys you really have not heard about or guys on their redemption tour. So that's enough for me. I'm rolling with Denver.
Yeah. Papa's going with Denver also. Black, who you got?
Yeah, Denver. Yeah, I don't trust the Jets, man. I just think that I can't see the point in the right direction, bro. I can't. You look at them, it's like, I don't know. Tell me what they do well right now. Give me something, and I just don't see it. It's like, at what point? I know he's a rookie quarterback, but at what point do you say, okay, after the second interception, we got to change something up? And I mean, it's probably a rookie coaching putting together, but you got to do something different. You can't just send him out there like he's ready to go up against Bill Belichick. You can't, man. And I going into that game, you got to think that. I don't care if you're doing little screens, whatever. You can't just give him the ball to be slinging around like he's Johnny Unitas. And that said a lot to me about the Jets, man. But it's easy pick, the Broncos here.
Yeah, I got you last year picking the Jets against Denver, but I don't think I'm going to be that lucky this year, so I'm going with Denver too.
Oh, I just don't pick the Jets.
Nah, I went with the Jets for 2 weeks, and just come to the realization it's just not ready for prime time yet. So I'm going with Denver. Next game on tap is Seattle, who dropped the game. Now I couldn't believe that they dropped that game, going against Minnesota. Ice, who you got?
Wow, this is in Seattle or Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Ooh-wee. Wow, Cousins, all of the offense up there for Minnesota. Anyway, the heck with that. I'm gonna go with Seattle.
Yeah.
They lost the game last week. They know they should have won. They were at home, had the 12th man. This is when Russell Wilson kind of get a little PO, right? They are due a big game from the wide receiver, like it did it before, So now that they're due for a big game, and I think they're going to handle it because Minnesota's been known to get in the shootouts. So I'm gonna go with Seattle.
All right, Papa's going with Seattle. Black.
I saw something. For most people, they might look at it, it's no big deal. Watching that game, what's the name? The quarterback. We're just talking about Russell Wilson threw a touchdown pass. He ran down the field to congratulate the receiver. The offensive lineman, everybody was basically down there. No one turned around to greet Russell Wilson. No one, bro. I'm gonna let that speak for itself, based on some things he said in the offseason. They kind of like didn't even acknowledge, like he wasn't even there. With that being said, I don't trust him going on a roll to play in Minnesota, bro. I just don't. I like Minnesota where they bounced back last week. If Minnesota can just basically run the ball a little bit more and kind of commit to it, and not try to make that quarterback out to be something he may not be, they should win this game. Seattle's defense still ain't what it should be, but their offense is always going to kind of cook with their receivers. But I got a funny hunch that Minnesota's going to take this at home, man. I don't trust Seattle running. And again, I don't think everything is right with Russell and that team. I just don't think everything is right, bro. He won't do that, go Hawks, but he hurt a lot of feelings in the offseason, bro.
Yeah. It was good Kirk Cousins last week, right? I think he'll be back, Kirk Cousins, this week. So I'm going with Seattle. Even though they're the visiting team, I'm going with Seattle because I'm counting on bad Kirk Cousins coming back this week against Seattle. Next game on tap is Tampa Bay versus the Los Angeles Rams. Ice, who you got?
Wow, this is an interesting game because this is an opportunity for Matthew Stafford and that team to really show that they're the real deal. They didn't play the greatest games lately, but they've still been winning. So they're feeling really good about themselves. But then again, here comes Blackthorn's new favorite player, Tom Brady.
Hall of Famer, baby.
Yeah, dude, this got a new fan. But Tampa Bay is just, they coming in, it's like they show you their medals and they're like, are you afraid? They're like, if you're not, you should be. So with that being said, I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. I think they just keep rolling, keep moving it along. Defense is showing up too. And every once in a while, the defense, they'll make a great defensive play. And you go, what? Are they playing like they played last year? But I think they're good enough. And I think that they will put a little pressure on Stafford. And I think they will win the game. So Tampa Bay.
Okay. Papa's going with the Los Angeles Rams. Black, who you got?
I think the Rams offense is inflated, bro. I really do. I think it's a little inflated. I'm not saying it's not good. I think it's a little inflated. And again, the Colts had them on the ropes, bro. And they let them off. As Danny Green would say, we had them. They let them off, bro. And they could have won that game. They really could. So if Wentz could put them on the ropes, Tom Brady gonna knock them out. It's just that simple. Don't get me wrong. I think the Rams are a good defense, but I think Tampa Bay's defense is gonna basically show what's the name there. You belong to be in Detroit. Because you're a quarterback. You were right to be in Detroit. This ain't for you. With that being said, I'm taking the Buccaneers.
All right. What is Tom Brady's weakness, Black?
If you move him out the pocket, bro, you make his feet move. But you got to keep in mind, he's been getting rid of that ball a little quicker since he played the Giants, bro.
But what the Giants used to do is come up the middle, right?
Yes, sir.
Donald up the middle against terrific Tom, your favorite new player. So I'm going with the Rams with this game. with Donald coming up the middle and putting pressure on Tom Brady. I don't care how quick, how old he is, and how quick he's gonna get rid of that ball. I think that defense is gonna come after him. They're gonna bring it, because I think a lot of people, especially in the league, are tired of hearing about Tom Brady and they want to take him down. Next game on tap is Green Bay versus San Francisco. Ice?
Yeah, he better have some bread with him. You want to stop that, man? You will force him to eat some bread. Green Bay, San Francisco. Wow, since San Francisco too, right? Yes. Garoppolo has been playing his behind off lately. This is gonna be interesting, but I believe in San Francisco. I think they get hell no, I'm going with Green Bay. Are you kidding me? Aaron Rodgers is my fantasy quarterback. I'm going Aaron Rodgers. He showed you last week. We ain't nobody scared of nobody. Y'all keep saying he's not gonna do this and he's not gonna do that. Like, all right. So just keep watching. But I think Green Bay kind of showed you this week what they're capable of. Even though they played Detroit, kind of played them close. And I mean, San Francisco, it's a grudge match, but the even better chance for Green Bay to show you that Aaron Rodgers say he ain't no punk. And when Randall Cobb started catching the ball again, looking like it's 1995, I was like, damn, he's still playing, catching very important passes, kind of like Gronk does with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers ain't playing, bro. He just dropped 4 easy little touchdowns. I said, can we get number 5, bro, just for clarity's sake? I'm going with Green Bay.
All right. Pop is going with Green Bay. Black, who you got?
I'm gonna tell you, man, if San Fran didn't have so many injuries, I would take them in this game, bro. Because I honestly think there's something about San Fran that scares the bejeebus out of Aaron Rodgers. I just do.
Yeah, they got beat last year and the year before going out west. Every time they went out west, they got hit.
I don't know if it's the 49ers uniform, but watching Garoppolo, some of his passes are really they look better because the receivers are catching and doing some good things with it. I don't think the 49ers defense is going to be able to hold up to Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to score a little bit more than what Garoppolo can do. For that reason, I'm going to take the Packers.
All right. I'm going with the Packers too. I want to go with San Francisco, but I think they probably have an axe to grind because they've been hammered the last few times they went out on the West Coast playing those West Coast teams. But they seem to have a rhythm. From the last game, maybe Detroit was the best thing that happened to them to get in that rhythm. And so maybe that will be the trick to get that running game. Their defense scares me. Green Bay defense really scares me. It's just not consistent. And because you let Detroit, of all teams, get up 17 points, I didn't like that at all as far as defense. But they made the adjustment. And then you got Goff, who helped you out too. Last game on tap is Philly. This should be a good one. Philly against Dallas. All right, so you got
strictly from an analyst perspective.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is playing pretty well. Their defense is Dallas is not still played up to its level. I don't think at all. I'm still wondering why the hell Ezekiel Elliott can't touch the ball. I don't know why you can't throw a screen pass at Ezekiel Elliott. I don't get that. I like Pollard.
Well, they're using Pollard. Yeah.
Yeah, but I get that. But when you got CeeDee Lamb running the ball out of the backfield, I mean, what the hell are you doing? I mean, it's almost as if, to me, that they're trying to make Dak Prescott the MVP because he's throwing for all these yardage and doing all this stuff. That's not the way you win. Sometimes you got to realize you got to pull back and use what's at your disposal. If you win the Super Bowl or you get farther in the playoffs, people are going to give you love because you orchestrated as a quarterback. You don't have to come in and try to be a superhero. Unfortunately, that's what he's trying to do. But it's still going to be enough to beat Philadelphia. I think you see a gunslinging match. So where's that game? Philadelphia or Dallas? It's in Dallas. First home game. Yeah, they'll win the home game, opening home game. Jalen Hurts is going to have to play like a man possessed, and I don't trust their coach. I think it's something about their coach. When he made those statements in the press conference, it's like he didn't know what the hell was going on. He's just lucky he got a very good young player playing quarterback. But I think he's going to get in his own way, and I'm going to go with Dallas.
All right. Papa's going with Dallas. You got the 2 Dallas fans going with Dallas. That's the first time in a long time. Black, who you got?
Wow.
I know you're a Cowboy fan now, so should I put that down already?
Well, I'm not saying I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm just a fan of sport. And when I see I'm objective, something that you may want to try from time.
He trying to win. He want that trophy.
I'll just say this, man. I don't think the Eagles. I haven't seen enough to think, and I like the quarterback, but I haven't seen enough to think they're going to roll and tangle with Dallas. And now I will say this though, I agree with Dak, and I think that head coach is in over his head. No, but even though they look all right, I'm thinking the head coach is over his head, and I'll take this as a prediction. He may be moving out the way, and the offensive coordinator will be taking over at some point, the head coach, because I'm telling you right now, Collins is, for the most part, he's calling a pretty good game. You see how the quarterback or the coach almost gave the game away towards the end of the game against the Cowboys with the Cowboys. So with that being said, I don't like the head coach, but I will say this: I think they have enough at home, especially with the fans being there. Monday night, come on, man. Monday night, Dallas. Yeah, the fans going to go crazy, and that's going to be enough to kind of spur them on. And I wonder too why the Cowboys are kind of moving away from Elliott. You're paying them a lot of money. What's going on? Because it seems like they're making a concerted effort not to use him for some reason. So who knows? But they'll do enough to win this game, more than enough to win this game at home on Monday night.
And I see him as one of those players that you got to keep feeding him the ball for him to get better and better in the game. And they will not do that. I saw that at Ohio State. Ohio State would just feed him and feed him and feed him. And then he'll break out and all that. But Dallas will not use him that way. Despite that, I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to jinx you all and go with the Dallas Cowboys, because usually when I pick the Dallas Cowboys, they lose. And something I love in all of life is to see the Cowboys lose. So every time I pick them, they lose. Hope they wear the blue uniforms too and lose. So those are our picks. We will come back next week and we'll see if anything changes. Hopefully it will. Your boy got to win more. Your boy.
Humble.
Root for Puma. Root for Puma. Pray for Puma. Ain't nothing like a good Sunday or a Monday with the Dallas Cowboys losing.
Oh my
Because all the Cowboy fans are mum. You hear a word from them. You don't see any memes, like they disappear. And I love it. You're the only Dallas Cowboy fan I can really talk realistic with. Oh, yeah. The fans made me hate the Cowboys more than the Cowboy team. We grew up,
I will admit that.
The fans make you hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like they just unrealistic. Talking about football.
And that's the thing. I think most people that speak against the Cowboys, realistically, is because they're not a humble. The Cowboys fans are not a humble bunch. They make excuses. They always front runners. And as you say, when they lose, they don't say a word. They don't come back and try to talk it out. No, it's like they don't want to talk. It's like, wait a minute. You talked all week until they get the basket. You know what I mean? Well, you got nothing now? Nothing?
Well, like somebody asked me that too. They were like saying, well, why you feeling some kind of way about the Cowboys? I was like, no, I'm realistic, right? Like I said, I go way back with them. I know what it's like. I'm not confused by fake talent, right? I said the same thing about Tony Romo. Everybody like, oh, Tony Romo, and they're gonna be, no, they're not. He was a decent quarterback, but then, like Pittsburgh should be. I don't know if they feel this way, but teams that win and have Super Bowl wins under their belt, you have a certain level of expectations, right? Yeah. And that's what it is. And if you don't rise to the occasion, as much as they like Tony Romo, he can be in the Dallas Ring of Honor, all that too. The whole point of it is too, you're never going to be considered better, as good as Danny White, because you never reached that level.
Is there anything in boxing, bro?
Yeah, actually there is. You have Usyk versus Joshua this weekend. It's a big fight because Joshua needs to try to keep everything in place, because if he wins this fight, then of course he's going to probably get the winner of a Wilder versus Fury.
Okay.
So he needs to win this fight, and he needs to be convincing on this as well. So yeah, it's big time fight for him this weekend. Not sure if you knew that over the weekend, or actually over the weekend, but yesterday they had the press conference with Caleb Plant versus Canelo.
Yes.
And they start throwing hands and everything too. I say that's hell of a marketing.
They're
Even
really trying to sell that fight.
Yeah, that was, but and it's gonna happen. The people were interested. You saw my man get cut. He like, yeah, okay, all right. You talk about my mama. You call me a motherfucker. You know all that. They selling it, but on the flip side, Wilder and Fury, they don't have to sell that because people gonna watch it.
I thought there was it sounded like I was reading an article maybe a week or two ago where they were trying to push where I guess Anthony was talking about fighting Fury, and it seemed like it could happen before the Fury Wilder fight. I thought that was going to happen if something happens to this Fury Wilder fight again.
Nothing happened with Fury Wilder, man, again. They try. That's why I think they're trying to keep it close to the vest. They know this fight has to happen. They've been holding on to it for a long time. It needs to happen, and then you can move on. It's going to help the heavyweight division move on. Like you said, then we got Canelo versus Caleb Plant. That's going to happen. Also, too, coming up, I think in a couple of weeks, we got the smaller guys, Jamel Herring versus Shakur Stevenson. What's up, son? Yeah, Shakur Stevenson. This is a great opportunity for him to kind of move up a little bit against a titleist. And that's what he wants to do. Should be very interesting from that standpoint. Then we know down the line later in November, we got the fight, Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter. And that's going to be very interesting. So there's a few different things. You got guys like Teofimo Lopez is going to be fighting soon. He's been calling out Josh Taylor. Brian Jennings is going to be back in the ring. Let's see. Chris Eubanks Jr. should be fighting sometime coming up, along with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia may be coming back. But I got one quick thing for you. Triller, stop it, man. Stop it. Triller said they were trying to be more focused on real boxing now. They're going to stop the shenanigans with the Evander Holyfield fiasco. But then coming up, there's a fight. Riddick Bowe versus Lamar Odom. And even though it's an exhibition, which is why I told you entertainment. I watched Riddick Bowe shadow boxing. It was just sad. His speech was slurred, and he said, "Oh, I'm ready. And it's like he could barely move in a semicircle. I don't care fight. He should not be fighting anyone. Lamar Odom or whoever. It is that sad. It almost reminded me, I was telling people this earlier, that watching Muhammad Ali when he fought Larry Holmes.
Yeah. Certain
things just don't need to happen. If he needs money, let's find a way to kind of raise some cash, do something for him. But if he's speaking slower than Evander Holyfield, it's just sad. And I'm not, this is all, no jokes, all jokes aside. This is just, even if it's an exhibition, he does not need to be anywhere near a boxing ring.
I know Bob Arum recently came out saying that this is a detriment to boxing, and I'm like, no shit. You got to figure out a way to really kind of distinguish yourself away from these events, or to stop these events. I think it's more dangerous. The sad thing about this ice is that I don't think it's going to stop until somebody gets seriously hurt or die in one of these bouts, whether it's they get hit too hard, or their head hits the canvas too hard, or something like that. And it's going to be really sad for something like that to happen to make this stop. But I've gotten to my limit with it. I don't want to see old fighters. It's the same thing with we talk about on the show. We talk about the big three. I don't want to see those old guys play basketball. It doesn't. It's like your old uncles who ain't got it no more. You want to go out there and play basketball, and you're sitting there. You ain't giving me a plate to watch it. I'm not sitting there at a barbecue and watching that. And so it's like to see the old fighters come back and try this again, and can't walk away from it. It's kind of sad to see, but this is what the public wants, and usually it goes by the demand of the public. So,